All right, so that's enough chess. So I'll show you something funny before we finish, and get the hype train going. This is something people have a lot of trouble with. The better you are at chess, the better you are at this, which doesn't even make any sense because there's very little chess skill involved. But you guys have very little chess skill, so I don't see what the issue is. Okay. And then, okay. So you've probably seen this before, possibly on my stream. Thanks for the 2 cent to do's. Thanks for the 200 cent to do's. Thanks to 200 trying to learn. Okay. So this is a puzzle where you're trying to move the person who showed this to me in December of 1988. You move the knight to every square on the board. Okay, and you go here first, and then here, 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 and then here. And then you go here, and then this is the last square based on what I just said. And black never moves. And the 2 rules are the knight's not allowed to move to a square, the queen attacks, which means it skips here, skips here, skips here. Okay. And you can't take the queen. So this is the first square. So you go here. Okay. Then this is the next square. So you go here. You move like a knight. You skip this square because the queen attacks it. You can't do this because the queen attacks that. So you have, okay. So you have to, what's going on? Okay. So you have to do this. Okay. Then this is the next square. So you have to do this. Okay. Then this is the next square, but you skip it because the queen's attacking it. So you go, jeez. Okay. So you go back to this square, this, and then you go here. Okay. And you see what I'm doing? Then the knight can't go here because the queen attacks it. So it's here, right? Okay. Anyway, the first time I did this and got to this square, it took me 4.5 minutes. And he said, that's really, really fast for the first time. He was like really impressed that I am who showed it to me. And now I can do it in about 90 seconds. There are people under 2,000 who can't do this. They can't get to the end. They start crying. It's too hard. And this is something very interesting that only psychologists could possibly understand. I'm not a psychologist, so I can't weigh in. This has nothing to do with opening theory. It has nothing to do with knowing how to checkmate with a king and a queen or a king and a rook or a bishop and a knight. It has nothing to do with pawn structure. It has nothing to do with tactics and forks and skewers and pins. It has nothing to do with chess. If you know how the queen moves, the legal moves of the queen, and you know how the knight moves, the legal moves of the knight, that's all you got to know. You don't have to know anything that Carlsen knows that you don't. Theoretically, you would agree that somebody who's rated 1,500, 1,600, 1,700, don't forget the hype train, would know how the queen moves and the knight moves at like Carlsen's level, right? The 1,400 say, oh, a queen can move diagonal. 1,400 knows that, right? If the knight went from here to here, a 1,400 would be like, what the hell are you doing? Knights don't move like that, right? And if you don't agree with that statement, which is fine, I'm not even agreeing with the statement, I don't know. Somebody who's like 2,000, 2,100, you would expect knows how the knight moves and how the queen moves, as well as a world, as a good player. It's, world champion and, those kind of people. Thanks to the 200 cent to do's. Okay, having said all of that, now that I'm done saying all of that, higher rated players destroy lower rated players at this. So if you show me, if 10 people do this and you show me their times, I know their ratings. Okay, there's a 0% chance that somebody under 2,000 for the first time does it better than Carlsen the first time. 0. Every player in the world under 2,000 is worse than Carlsen at this. Even though it's just move the knight, move the queen. You move the queen, right? And if your rating is under 1,600, it's 100% you're going to cheat. You're not going to know you're cheating. you're gonna move to a square that you're not allowed to move to, and somebody has to watch you and point it out while you're moving the knight around. If I do this on a real board, I just move the knight like it. I'll just move the knight. You can't even see my hand moving because it's too easy. And like something like when you do this, okay, and then you have to do this, and then you have to do like back here. Like to me, this is really easy. Oh, I'm sorry, but it's really hard for some people. So I'm already done with the first row. But for some people I've taught who are like 1800, this takes them 15 minutes to get here, especially the first time. And sometimes they don't get any better. And according to the guy who showed this to me, this is good for showing how talented somebody is. But it's amazing that if you take whatever your rating is and take a friend of yours, if you have a friend, if it's an enemy, that's okay. And then do this with them and see who's better. The higher rated player is better. Always. It's weird. Truth hurts. 1,500 centidues from BW261. Lick my hadron, 200 centidues. Yeah. Is there a place you can try this? Right here. Yeah. And watching people cheat is weird. When I've watched people do it, when they go here, they're like, okay, here. Or, and I'm like, no, your knight can't go here. And they're like, ah. And then here, the first time they do this and have to go here, it's a horrible experience. I mean, it's really bad for them. It's really hard going there if you've never seen it before. It's really difficult. And a lot of people do the illegal way, because that's illegal. You can't do that. So this is a very common mistake people make. Obviously, you could just do that, but it's illegal. Yeah. Anyway, you should do this at home. It's very frustrating. And then if you do it several times, you'll get better. And then maybe when you play regular chess, you'll learn how the knight and queen move. I doubt it, but yeah.